Welcome to another episode with your host, Robert E. Hansen, psychic medium, author, and public speaker.
Thank you for joining me. Today's story, Searching. A mother had come to me, as so many oftentimes parents do. Sadly, in my work, I meet folks who have lost their child. Sometimes the child is young, toddlers, infants, preschoolers, and the readings are heartbreaking. I've also met parents that have lost young teenagers, young adults, and I've even met parents who have lost their adult children in their 30s, 40s, even in their 50s. For the eyes of the mother, for the eyes of the father, for their souls, all they see is their child. There is no age, there is no distance, there is no separation from the boy figure or the girl figure. When you are a parent and you love your child, that love is a blossom. It is like a flame that will not go out. And then when death comes to claim them, it is probably the most painful thing I've ever witnessed in my work in dealing with grief. I often write, I never witness a greater sorrow, and that is so true. In meeting with these parents and meeting with the moms, sometimes they come alone with the parents together, moms and dads, even grandparents, of course, come to sit in on a session. They often tell me about their searching. The images that draw into mind is they're sitting by the open door, hoping that this nightmare will come to an end, that it's all just a dream gone bad, and that one day this dream will come to its close, this nightmare will crash to the floor, and the front door will open, and they'll hear the voice of their daughter again. Or their attention falls on the phone, the cell phone next to their bed, the phone's still hanging on the kitchen wall, and they're waiting for that ring. Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad. It's me. I'm home. I'm fine. I just got sidetracked for a day or two, and I'm sorry. I should have reached out to you. And the sense of exhaustion will leave their bodies immediately. It's almost as though they've celebrated the greatest fireworks display on earth when they hear their child's voice again. But sadly, in many cases, that's not to be. And in their sorrow and in their desperation, I often say that I watch them searching. They sit in my office, the empty space that surrounds us like in any other office. I can see their eyes looking around, peering into emptiness, hoping to catch a glimpse of something because they're sitting with a psychic. They tell me about their searches for the birds in the trees that may leave a sign, or a road sign that may carry their child's name, a license plate that goes by in a car that reminds them of their child. They may see a sports sticker on someone's windshield. They may find a bird feather on the front lawn. Some of them claim they have found quarters and pennies left in a place no one could leave one. And the list goes on and on and on. And for those parents who are hanging on by their fingernails, it is a comfort that they seek. They are desperate for some sense of continued contact, and I don't blame them. Sometimes I'm fortunate enough to meet with these beautiful people, and I always consider it a blessing if they happen to choose to come to see me. Excuse me, as I've shared so often, I'm just Robert. I'm a regular guy. I got kids of my own. I have family members like all of us have that have crossed over. But by God's grace, as of this recording, I have never lost one of my children. My brother did, my mom did, but not myself and my wife personally. So I can certainly relate to the sorrow, but not as intimately as some who have lost their child directly. So when I sit with them, then this transition happens within inside of me. I begin to share with them stories and names and events. And they begin to look at me like I'm coming from another planet, like I've descended from Mars or something. And they will say to me, Robert, how do you know that my son died in a surfboard accident? How do you know that my daughter was struck in a car accident somewhere in Western Nevada? How do you know these things? I mean, no one knows these things, and yet you're discussing them. How do you know that my daughter died on the evening of my birthday? How do you know my son was about to enter medical school? How do you know? And I often tell them, and I frequently tell them, and probably every time I read, I tell them, I don't know anything about you guys. If you remember when the appointments were made, we don't allow for names of first names only, just your name or your husband's name, not even your child's name. We're not allowed to, we don't ask anyone any information. But as the reading progresses, and as the information begins to swell up around them, their tears start to flood, they start shaking, their eyes are rolling up and down, there's tears falling on their pants, the husband's holding the wife's holding the husband's, their heads are snapping back in disbelief. And I sit very quietly with them, very patiently with them, because I know they're experiencing something that they never thought possible. And within a short time within the session, they begin to sense that something is happening. And what they begin to realize is the soul of their child has continued along with them. The very essence of their child is with them. They realize this by the information that is shared, the names that are spoken, the trauma that is experienced. And they sit basically in disbelief. And then finally, you can almost see a shift in their eyes. And I explain to them, this is how your son, your daughter is communicating with you. They're using me as the interpreter to share this with you. And what they are trying to get across to you is they have never left you. From the moment their body was interrupted by death, they didn't disappear into a no man's land. They didn't cross into some dimension beyond time and distance. Their heart, their soul, their essence has never separated from you. And they want you to know this intimately. If you enjoy searching for things, Mom and Dad, continue to do it. But the real search can come to its close. Why? Because you do not have to search for your child's love. You do not have to search the universe for your child's presence. Please, my friends, they are with you always. If you would simply allow yourself to go quiet, really become still, not fall into imagination or fantasy or make-believe, really get quiet. You too will know what I'm referring to. And I've worked with many people on this, and they have had the same experiences that I receive. Please understand that your loved one cannot get through the movement of your imagination and your fantasy. They can't. That's generated by somebody else telling you, or it's generated within yourself, trying to convince yourself they're nearby. And the part that is so beautiful, and I don't want you to miss it, is they're standing right in front of you. Their arms wrapped around you. They are kissing your tears. They are praying for you. They are holding you. They want you to know that although their body has left, and it's very painful, they will never leave you. You will never be without them. And one day, when you are called home yourself, you will come to see this. And you will sit back and you will kind of smile and laugh and say, you know, I was so sad, I was so upset for so long, and now I realize it wasn't necessary. But at the time, it was all I had. But thanks to the reading, thanks to people like Robert, A gift of grace has been given to us to know that our beautiful daughter, our beautiful son is here. So if you are searching, love is the sign. Presence is their sign. They need no other, nor do you. But until then, if you find comfort in the raindrops, if you find comfort in the rainbows and the bird feathers, then please do so. I'm not here to take it from you, but I'm here to tell you that what you're searching for has never been lost, and you will never lose them. So be at peace, my friends, and know they are responding to your prayers and your heartbreak. As I often share, pray for them as they pray for you. And I want to thank you for joining me.